a diamond, rare, exquisite, and tough. A diamond's luster is dull before revealing its brilliance and luminescence. It needs polishing to fulfill its purpose, to achieve its 4 C's: carats, clarity, cut, color. A diamond's journey in becoming exquisitely tough and multifaceted is like the sparkling narrative of the Department of Science and Technology Food and Nutrition Research Institute's journey from 75 years ago. That began as the Institute of Nutrition, which later became Food and Nutrition Research Center, and finally, Food and Nutrition Research Institute, as it is known today. Upholding our commitment to develop and conduct food and nutrition programs is not possible without the dedication of the men and women behind DOST-FNRI's milestone accomplishments. We celebrate 75 years of DOST-FNRI, its people, history, and stories.
It was FNRC at that time, and when I met the staff, we all realized that we were all in agreement with the mandate of FNRI in following the law set by the government for FNRI to do.
When I came to FNRI, it was very clear to me of what the mandate of FNRI is. Yung mission niya of making sure that we do relevant researches in food and nutrition, and we serve the Filipinos, particularly in making sure that we have better nutritional status. As we know very well, pag naglalagay ng vision, hindi ba alam mo na halos mahirap talaga siyang ma-attain, and you have to work very hard to make sure that at least bits and pieces will come together. So eventually, you are focused on looking into that direction and making sure that someday, soon, it will be realized.
Una-una, ang FNRI ay talagang ahensya na may magandang mandato. Yung mandato na ginawa ng ating mga naunang leaders ng FNRI. At ang masasabi ko sa mandato ng FNRI is yung smart siya. Simple, measurable, actionable, at saka realistic, at saka time-bound yung ating magawa. So, napakaganda ng mandato natin. At ito ang naging giya natin, naging guide ko, specifically dun sa pagtupad ng kung ano ang dapat direksyon ng FNRI.
During the period when I was in the verge of decision making on whether I will apply or not for the position of a director, I pondered on what could I do for the last remaining years, for the last 2 remaining years of my government career. However, due to external and internal forces, including the inspiration emulated to me by my husband, I decided to apply. When my application was in progress, I already have reviewed the record sheet of Dr. Kapansan. However, I included more riders and put more premium on human resource, it being the base of my record sheet. Now, why is this so? Just because I believe that the success of any institute or agency, for that matter, is dependent upon the quality of human resource that the institute has. Now, if I say quality, this encompasses 3 C's and 1 I. Now, if we have in our 75th anniversary the 3 C's, I also have 3 C's on human resource and 1 I, and these are actually high level of competence, commitment, and cooperation, as well as innovativeness. Now, during my assumption to duty as director, the big O that shaped the whole world in our unexpected and unprecedented time was still in our midst. Now, as a leader, we need to rise to the challenge and thrive. A paradigm shift is all what we need. It's time to go digital and virtual. The COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated the use of these technologies. Digital transformation of all stripes is needed. Moreover, we meticulously reviewed the existing short and long-term plans of the Institute and carefully crafted a roadmap for 2022, 2033, and beyond. In this roadmap, we identified the poor, children, and adults with unhealthy lifestyle and the aging population as priority targets. And I call these the mega sectors. Most, if not all, of our R&D and SMT services must be focused on these priority sectors. Correspondingly, I put forward major strategies on knowledge generation, malnutrition reduction initiatives, knowledge diffusion, product development, technology generation and transfer, as well as efficient governance to achieve excellent peak performance and bring FNRI at the forefront of food, nutrition, and technology services for our mega sectors. We will continue to go digital and make use of social media as channels for our food and nutrition communication and networking and get more reach of our services. We will strive to conduct more problem-focused intervention programs to be more efficient and cost-effective. I'm also engrossed at intensifying our works on nutrigenomics in the field of metabolomics so that we could use this as a tool for understanding the nutrition problems at the cellular level, for early diagnosis of disease and more patient-centric intervention. Let us continue developing impactful and realistic policies for implementation by our stakeholders. To continue developing food products to address the triple burden of malnutrition and the non-communicable diseases. We need to conduct more researches on functional foods, immune booster foods, and let us continue our networking efforts, especially in the global arena, and get more funding support for our researches. We will try our best to acquire state-of-the-art equipment for our researches. Leadership style. Teka muna, so leadership style. Well, I still believe in my adaptive leadership. The world, our country, is now so different than it was prior to March 16, 2020. As a leader, I must have to adapt into the transformed world by having the ability to foster an environment of co-elevation. If I say co-elevation, it is the art of building deep relationships with the staff within and of course outside the institute, and invite each one to work and collaborate on a common vision. Now, a major change was to move to a distributed workforce and workplace, which require multiple technologies and platforms connected by digital workflows. Now, pag sinasabi ko digital workflows, it can actually enable people to work from anywhere, anytime. So my adaptive leadership style created a fundamental change in the way we work, where there is actually a massive decoupling of how work happens from whether that is at home or office, and we are simply working. So what comes to my rescue is a strong man-machine collaboration, virtual team of experts supported by robust digitalization and automation-based tools and process to ensure flexible yet seamless service delivery. Now, as a leader, I need to create a new contract with the staff to guide us and our team towards high-level performance. We need to co-create. I repeat, we need to co-create to achieve our agency's goals.
I think the milestone that we could mention, the first important milestone were the nutrition surveys. In 1987, we had the third National Nutrition Survey, which was, of course, an expansion of the first and second Nutrition Survey in 1982.
Ang feeling ko, ang malaking contribution is more on the writer's school. Siguro kung isipin nyo, although sumusulat kayo or so on, wala naman tayong, parang it's more na nanggagaling din sa inyo. And one of the things na ginawa natin doon sa writer's school is basically, di ba? Parang nagbigay tayo ng training so that lahat ng unit ng FNRI may makakasulat kasi mas sila yung nakakaalam. Kasi one of the lessons that I have learned, in addition to another one that I have said, siguro masasabi ko na isa sa mga nagawa ko dun sa FNRI, yung paglabas ng facts and figures. Kasi kung natatandaan nyo, bago lumabas ang resulta ng FNRI sa survey, ang tagal-tagal. Usually, pinapublish ito sa Philippine Journal of Nutrition. Pagkatapos, hindi pa yung lahat ng data. So to me, parang very, very important yung paggagawa ng facts and figures and also yung writer's school kasi ang nakikita ko minsan hindi din nalalabas yung ginagawa ng ibang unit. Yung unit na marunong sumulat, maganda, and syempre kayo meron naman kayong ibang sarili ng trabaho other than ipalaganap din yung ginagawa ng FNRI. And to me, parang very important yung mga parang sa akin, napaka-importante nung doon sa writer's school.
Klaro sa mandato ng FNRI ang magamit ang ating result sa foundation ng mga policy. So, we created a program na mag-translate ng mga R&D and S&T results to policy. So, through these activities, I was inspired in 2016 na i-propose yun sa APEC meeting na to become the R&D and ST activities translated into policy. At yun nga ay naging importanteng rekomendasyon ng Pilipinas dun sa APEC meeting. Natutuwa din ako dahil ang maraming polisiya, maraming guidelines na develop in part of FNRI, yung ating Food Fortification Act, yung syntax, yung ating makasaysayang Sugar Sweetened Beverage Tax na naging basihan yung ating mga datos pag-craft nito mga polisiyang ito. At marami pang iba na binigyan diin yung mga datos na nakikreate ng FNRI. So, yung translation into R&D and S&T activities to policy is something is worth noting kasi FNRI excels on this area kasi we try to lead some other groups not only within the country but also other countries. So isa pa sa ating makikita din is in recent time ay yung ating pagtugon sa pandemic. Sa kagustuhan nating makatulong sa panahon ng pandemic, pinilisan natin yung pag-aaral ng pag-develop ng enhanced Nutriban. At yung milestone na yun ay very significant kasi nga in span of less than 1 year, napadami natin yung ating mga partners na nagpo-produce at yun nga, to cut the story short, naging isang bahagi din ng national program on Zero Hunger sa pagtutulungan ng opisina ni Cabinet Secretary Lograles. So, at saka pagtutulungan din ng DOST-FNRI, ng DSWD, ng DepEd at National Nutrition Council.
The peak and surges of the pandemic was one of the major challenges during my term. However, this did not stop us from accomplishing our mission. We adapted rapidly the virtual platform and electronic means of communicating and processing documents. And so, there were a lot of firsts that were done during these challenging times that forced us to first to learn and explore this new normal way of working. This can be manifested in our efforts in assisting our DepEd and DSWD in transitioning the school-based feeding program into dry ration by supplying enhanced Nutribond. We also have conducted VCO in the fight against COVID-19. Kasagsagan po ito ng COVID-19 noong May 2020. At nandun po kami sa Santa Rosa Emergency Hospital and Santa Rosa local facility for COVID-19. Natatakot kami man na pumunta doon, pero siyempre dahil tayo po ay dapat makapag-contribute kung ano yung lunas ng ating COVID-19, we actually have done that. And we explored at trying to look at the effects of VCO in trying to use this as an adjunct therapy to the COVID-19 pandemic. So, nagkaroon po tayo ng catering service at yung ating coconut oil ay idinagdag natin sa pagkain ng ating mga patients. At yung mga pagkain nila na yon ay standardized menus which are actually developed in our kitchen lab. At to cut the story short, nagkaroon po tayo ng magandang resulta at nakita natin na ang COVID-19 is really effective in reducing the signs and symptoms of COVID-19 among our patients. And this was actually published in our journal, and we were actually lauded on the efforts at na-impress po yung ating mga editors ng journal, and it was actually published immediately. Usually, we can publish our papers 6 to 1 year, no? However, our manuscript on VCO was published immediately. I think wala pang 6 months ata na-publish na po. And then another effort is actually the conduct of the Rapid Nutritional Assessment Survey. Noon, ako po yung chief. I was the chief of the Nutritional Assessment and Monitoring Division that time. And since we were not able to conduct the last 37 provinces for the expanded National Nutrition Survey, then pinull out kasi natin yung mga survey teams natin who were actually deployed in the different areas in the Philippines because of the COVID-19. So sabi natin, umuwi na sila dahil kasagsagan na po noon ng lockdowns. Well, nahirapan man tayo na mag-pull out dahil nga wala nang sasakyan noon. But still, we were successful. The conduct of the Rapid National Assessment Survey is actually the first survey that was conducted via mobile phones. Could you imagine? So, that time, we have to categorize our areas into high, medium, and low-risk areas. Now, to cut the story short, nakita po natin na talaga pong mahirap o kaya very rampant yung problema natin ng food insecurity that time. It's just because of the lockdown. And dahil din sa lockdown, nakita po natin na ang mga ayuda o kaya mga donations were actually more in the high-risk areas, but not so much in the low-risk areas. However, take note that food insecurity was really very high in the low-risk areas. Why is this so? Because lockdowns were actually practiced or instructed to be nationwide. And therefore, kahit na low-risk areas sila, hindi sila talaga makakalabas na bumili ng pagkain at saka wala rin sila mabili ng pagkain. However, the ayuda was very low. It's just because they're in the provinces. Now, why are the high-risk areas having high ayuda or donations? It's just because there are a lot of donations that were saturated in highly urbanized cities. The high-risk areas are occurring actually in highly urbanized cities. Now, we have also reached a tremendous number of clients and partners through our digital platforms. We were able to transcend borders. Now, nagkaroon po tayo ng maraming adapters dahil it's very easy really to really convey messages via online, right? So, in one meeting or one webinar, you can already catch a lot of people to actually be your clients or your partners in the different commercialized technologies.
The Outstanding Research Award coming from DOST. And as a matter of fact, it was there was also the Best Package Technology Award by PCHRD of the same technology or the same project, which was the publication of the FNRI PPS anthropometric tables and charts for Filipino children. It was not only a personal award for me as a person or as a director, but I thought it was an indication of the recognition of the government as Civil Service Commission, for example, as well as other agencies of the government, as an outstanding performance and contribution of the institute, led by me for that Lincoln Bayan Award. It was for the outstanding performance in government with national impact. Yeah, that was the Lincoln Bayan Award. Yeah.
Ako, I would say na yung awards was achieved by FNRI more because of a collective effort. Yung grupo nyo basically are the ones. It is just that I think siguro yung impetus, because you knew very well how much essentially we wanted to make sure that we really showcase that what we are doing. Because I think one of the things that has to be needed is really to be more outspoken and to show more how much we are trying to help the change in the nutritional status of the country, the food that is available and can be done.
Sabi nga ni Yusek Gep, ang FNRI ay masyadong tahimik, hindi mayabang. Sabi niya, magyabang naman kayo dahil you have a lot of things to share. Kaya nga siguro nung tayo ina-recognize something that we thought that we need to tell the people. So, napakasaya at napaka-fulfilling ang ating mga proyekto na nabibigyang award. At saka, ang yabang din natin dahil halos taon-taon, iba-ibang award ang nakikita na receive ng FNRI. So, ilan lamang ito sa mga dapat ipagmayabang ng bawat isang empleyado ng FNRI. Kasi sila ay kasama sa pag-deliver ng ganitong output at kasama din sila sa recognition.
Oh, awards. So, I am proud and fulfilled that I witnessed the awards and recognition being given to FNRI. First, FNRI and its workforce even before the start of my term. These are some of them. I like to enumerate them one by one. Ito po yung 2021 Philippine Quality Award or the PQA for Proficiency in Quality Management. Nakita po natin at nasubukan po natin yung mga interview. Di ba? Ang hirap-hirap po yung mga questions po nila sa atin. But we have tried. And And we are very proud because we got level 2 without even having passing the level 1. No? So, and successfully, we renewed our ISO 9001-2015 Quality Management System, and we were an awardee of the 2021 Alberto G. Romualdez Outstanding Health Research Award during the 14th Philippine National Health Research System Week. And ito po yung napakaganda. Tayo po ay Best Institute Award for Utility Model for 3 consecutive years. And itong PTL ISO 17043-2010 Conformity Assessment General Requirement for Proficiency Testing, we are the only laboratory who have this, no? Pinagyayabang po natin yan. At ito, isa pa ng pinagyayabang ay itong Nujan Lab or ISO 17025-2017 and also the biological testing. And our highly specialized biochemical laboratory, ISO 17005-2017, General Requirements for Competence of Testing and Calibration of Laboratory. This laboratory is the only laboratory that's actually assessing highly specialized biomarkers. And of course, isa pa ay yung DOST-FNRI ranks 3rd when it comes to popularity among agencies according to the SWS survey commissioned by DOST-STII. Meanwhile, the Institute's social media platforms ranks 5th among the DOST agencies when it comes to reach, engagements, and followers. Wow, personal accomplishments. Nahihiya talaga akong magsabi. Kasi siyempre parang kung binubuhat naman ng aking sarili kung ako magsasabi yung personal accomplishments ko. Pero pag sinasabi nyo kasi na nakatulong sa ating trabaho sa FNRI, sige, i-mention ko. Ito po ay, of course, I was awarded one of the 10 leaders in nutrition by the Nutritionist Dietitians Association of the Philippines. I also received a citation award from the Professional Regulations Commission. And ito po yung pinaka-maganda, yung Pag-asa Award by the Civil Service Commission in 2017, and we were awarded in Malacanang with President Duterte, who is actually awarding the certificates to us. And nakuha ko rin yung Outstanding Oral Presentation Award by the Society International Endocrinology and Metabolism. This was held in Korea. And in 2018, I was an awardee and one of the awardees of the Alberto Romualdez Outstanding Health Research Award, together with my team members of the research on iron-fortified rice. And ito din yung pinaka-memorable sa akin, yung aking conferment as scientist 2 in 2018. What inspired me actually to apply for this scientist career is actually pushed by Dr. Barba and Dr. Florentino also. And sabi ko, sige na nga, mag-apply na ako before ako mag-retire. Para baka sayang din kasi yung makukuha kong level, no, or conferment. So, I owe this to all my staff in the meeting room. They were all the ones who compiled all my documents for submission to the National Academy of Science and Technology. So, I was conferred Scientist 2 in 2018. And then, I got a position at FNRI as the Chief of the Nutritional Assessment and Monitoring Division that time. And alam ko po na I was actually getting a position wherein I have to leave my comfort zones because being a division chief, of course, my passion in research will be reduced, right? Because I have another responsibility on admin functions. So, sabi ko, sige na nga. Sabi ko sa aking sarili, mag-apply ko ng happy na naman, parang ayaw ko. Pero sabi ko nga sa inyo, there's always sabihin ko na lang siguro na there's always time for everything, no? And sabi ko nga sa aking sarili, siguro it's high time din siguro na pupuntahan ko na rin na mag-apply as a chief dito sa division na ito. Then when I was there, this position, sabi ko, sige, 2 years na lang ako, titignan ko kung makakapasa ulit ako sa upgrading ng scientific career. So, usually, ang pag-upgrade nila is actually after 4 to 6 years after your first conferment. However, there's a colatilla doon sa kanilang guidelines na if you have a rating of outstanding performance for 2 consecutive years, you can already apply for an upgrading. So sabi ko, when I was actually looking at my performance ratings, I said, oh, meron akong 2 years now. So I applied. I applied as for the upgrading last 2021. That was June 30 because that was actually the deadline for the submission. And fortunately, again, I think this is God given. I was conferred as Scientist 4 in May 2022. Hindi ko pa nga alam na na-confer na rin ako. Kaya lang, nakita ko sa Facebook, maraming nagpo-congratulate. Yun pala, sabi ko kayo, may nag-text ako, ano ba ito? So sinabi nila, ikaw ay ano? Actually, siguro si Dr. Milfleur ata itong nagsabi, Scientist 4 ka na. So, sabi ko, salamat naman. So, yun po, I'm just sharing to you na, yeah, this molded me actually as a what do you call this? Sabihin ko na a leader at this of my own at my own capacity to lead an institute like this. I'm very proud to be part of FNRI.
Well, I still think that the program of FNRI that gave the most social and economic impact was still the National Nutrition Surveys. Yun pa rin, National Nutrition Surveys, because this provide scientific data for the formulation of the early PPANs, Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition. It fed to the need for the formulation of the medium-term development plan. As a matter of fact, it gave data that was useful to international agencies like UNICEF and FAO and WHO. So I think that was the most prominent activity of FNRI, project of FNRI. And of course, I think that it was the nutrition surveys that built, to the most extent, built the nutrition consciousness of the population and the recognition that malnutrition problem is an important problem in the Philippines. It provided strengthening the nutrition consciousness of the population by informing them about the nutritional quality of food and the intake of individuals and households.
Well, I think siguro yung realization, basically, or the use of the data of the FNRI had also helped many of the nutrition committees, particularly at the local government, to improve their status and the guidance that is being given through the many materials that we have. I think, essentially, yung pagkalat ng mga ganon, naging mas useful siya dun sa community in trying to understand what is a nutritious diet. Kasi naging importante din nagkaroon ng bagong tools with regards to how diverse is your diet is. So meaning, kung titignan mo yung pyramid, paano ba yung mga different food groups na kinakain. Pero ang tinitignan din doon, para ma-mention mo yung diet diversity, tinitignan na dapat lahat ng levels ay meron kang representative. Ang tingin ko madaming nako-contribute ang FNRI doon sa at ang pagtanaw na talagang yung food system approach, ang food and nutrition system approach ang ating gagawin, and reaching out to all the departments, to all the private institutions and so on.
Well, we want to look at the treasure kung ating kayamanan sa FNRI na nagiging long-lasting sa atin. These are yung ating mga datos ng ating National Nutrition Surveys, at ito nga ay kinukonsider kong mina, where it is like a diamond, sparkling diamond where everybody wants to mine. And since it is sparkling, it gives light, it gives hope to the development of food and nutrition situation in the country. So ito ay isang kayamanan ng FNRI na dapat nating pukayin, palawakin para magkaroon ng malaking kapakinabangan. The NNS data has been there from 1978, at sa kasalukuyan ay para madaling magmina ng ating mga datos sa NNS, ginawa natin itong yung tinatawag natin public use file. So sa ating mga katuwang sa food and nutrition, kami po ay masaya at proud na sabihin na ang mina, ang kayamanan ng FNRI ay bukas, lalong-lalo na sa data, sa pamamagitan ng ating public use file na makikita sa ating website, specifically sa e-nutrition website. So, isa sa mga sparkling, it's like a diamond na dapat nating pagyamanin, ingatan, at gamitin.
Social and economic impact of different projects. So, of course, we have the Rapid Nutritional Assessment Survey, which actually provided a goldmine of data for policies for trying to actually align the different intervention projects or models to address actually the COVID-19 pandemic. Because we have known before in this survey, we have found out that the most utilized or go-to health facility is actually the barangay health station. And therefore, what we recommend is actually to beef up the resources at the barangay health station, because during pandemic, this is the nearest health facility where people can go for check-up or for health services. So, sabi ko, if I say beef up the resources, of course, these are simple yung mga medicines, no? Yung dapat meron din tayong gamot sa barangay health station, at saka may mga instrumento na pwede nilang gamitin para ma-diagnose ang isang simpleng sakit at the barangay health level. And the ENNS, the conduct of the Expanded National Nutrition Survey, this data has actually invited a lot of collaborators and a lot of students taking up PhD and masters are actually using this data. And I was the first who actually put all our data on public use file. That's why all the academics, the academia, the different non-government organizations and other partners are actually very impressed on the goldmine of data that we have in our website, because we have collected that in the expanded National Nutrition Survey. There are a lot of policies that were used out from this survey. And of course, the BCO, as I have told you, this is actually a study wherein we have found out that it is an adjunct therapy for COVID-19 signs and symptoms, or for COVID-19 patients. And we have also tested that or replicated that in Valenzuela study, wherein the same, or we have replicated the design of the Santa Rosa study in Valenzuela, and we have found actually similar findings. And this manuscript is already submitted again to the journal, and it is under review, and hopefully it will be released very soon. And of course, the technology transfer and commercialization of enhanced Nutriban, squash variant, and we have other variants also. Sabi nga natin kung ang COVID-19 ay may variant, meron din tayong mga variant ng Nutriban. So yung Nutriban squash variant is actually from Dr. Kapansanga's term, and then nanganak po siya ng carrots, sweet potato, yellow, orange, and purple mote or sweet potato. The MRP has two components. First, of course, is the technology. That's actually the complementary food facility, wherein we have deployed about 8 sets of complementary food facilities in the different 8 priority areas. And I'm very proud and very happy to tell you that we have visited already 6 out of the 8. And we can actually say that's already functioning. And we have 2 more, so medyo bumuelo lang tayo ngayon dahil sa preparation ng ating 75th anniversary. So the last 2 will be visited after our celebration of the anniversary. So marami pa tayong mga programs na merong social at saka economic impact, and these are actually the Omics in a lecture series wherein we actually simplify the very technical terms on nutrigenomics into a very simple term, so that this can be understood by our clients or by our communities, no? So sabi nga natin, it's very difficult to translate technological terms or technical terms into a very simple term and culturally acceptable, but we made it, and we have a lot of audience saying that this is a perfect and very valuable lecture series. And we have also project, this is actually the first project for adolescents. That's the project Sagip 2021. And the improvement of the FNRI website, na-improve na po natin yan. That's why maraming na po tayong clients na gumagamit ng informasyon na yan. And the enhancement of the Philippine food composition table. Actually, we already have the database online, and we also have a mobile application. O, di ba nga? Just a click on your finger, and nandun na yung ating mga food items. And we also have online training in conducting the ENNS. Now, ito po yung napaka-significant, it has a very significant economic and social impact. When I was actually the chief of the division, I have learned that these applicants for our expanded National Nutrition Survey come to Manila. Would you imagine? From Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, going to Manila to attend a 1-month intensive training before deployment for them to begin collecting the data for the National Nutrition Survey. Of course, they will spend a lot of money for 1-month training, and since they are not actually yet, employed, so they have to spend their own money. You can just imagine, gagastos pa sila para lang sa isang training natin, no? So, boarding houses, yung kanilang pagkain, and so on. So, what I did was actually to put all these trainings, these lectures online. And they can take actually also the examinations online. And those who have passed the examinations and evaluation tests online, then these are the people or these are the applicants who will come here for the practical. And that's already a sure employment opportunity for them. No? So it's a very good beginning at nakadulot ito ng ating significant impact sa ating mga applicants. No? And of course, the FNRI is implementing quality management amidst the pandemic. Tayo lang po ang meron yan. Sensory evaluation laboratory. No?
He was the one who invited me back to the Food and Nutrition Research Center. You know, I was already in NCP, a Nutrition Center of the Philippines. And then he was the one who tried to convince me to go back to FNRI or FNRC at that time. He was the NSTA chief or, you know, head at that time. I remember I was supposed to attend a conference, an international conference, I think, and I was late in applying for it. I needed the approval of Malacanang and the approval of the head of the office, which was Dr. Salcedo. Can you imagine that? That was a Saturday. That was Saturday already, and I went to look for Dr. Salcedo to get his signature for his approval for my attendance to an international conference. But he was not there in the office, and I was told that he just left the office, and I can find him walking in the street and in Pedro Hill. And so I did. Hayabol ko sa kanya. Hinabol ko. Nakaabot ako sa kanto ng Adriatico yata. And that is where, right in the corner of Adriatico and Pedro Hill, where he affixed his signature to approve my travel to the international conference. That's what I remember. Dr. Pascual was much more in organizing nutrition effort in the country. And I think one of the earliest milestones of FNRI was due to Dr. Conrado Pascual. Dr. Conrado Pascual led in the formation of the NCCFN, National Coordinating Committee on Nutrition. That committee that consisted of many heads of the government, including the Department of Defense, was part of the NCCFN. And the NCCFN was the forerunner of the current National Nutrition Council. It was the formation of the NCCFN which went into the formation of the current National Nutrition Council. Dr. Intengan was steeped in research. He honed the institute in performing research activities in a meticulous way, in a very careful way of carrying out research projects in the institute.
Ang natatandaan ko mga proyekto noon ay ang pioneering study on development ng mga recipe, regional recipe, na ito ay naging simula ng ating menu guide calendars. Isa rin sa mga natatandaan kong proyekto ni Dr. Intengan ay yung ating survey, isa sa mga kaunang surveys 1978, di ba? At ito ay nagkaroon ng iba-ibang recognition at parangal sa mga award giving body. So makikita natin na hindi lang ngayon yung mga pagkilala sa FNRI. Ang FNRI ay kinilala din sa kanilang mga research nung una pa man, noong 1978. Isa rin sa kanyang mga notable accomplishment ay itong ating seminar series, if I can recall. Kasi noong 1974 ay nagkaroon tayo ng kakaroon noon ng seminar series at ang natatandaan ko, very limited pa yon dun sa ating opisina sa Iran. At ngayon ngang taong ito ay tayo ay nasa 48th year na ng selebrasyon ng ating seminar series. So, yung seminar series ay nagsimula nung kay Dr. Jaime at yun ay naging tuloy-tuloy na sinuportahan ng iba't ibang administrasyon ng FNRI.
He is very intelligent. He had to look into our projects in a very detailed way. That's how I saw Dr. Bulatao Jaime. She was very much dedicated to the work of in FNRI and research and development. So he was the one who expanded the research activities a lot in FNRI.
Ang natatandaan ko nung ang director namin ay si Dr. Bulatao Jaime ay yung during that time nagkaroon ng parang transition from National Science Development Board at ito ay naging National Science and Technology Authority. Siguro very significant yun dahil baka dito nagsimula yung pagbalangkas ng mandato ng FNRI. At yun ay magandang contribution na naibigay ni Dr. Jaime. At during that time din ay pinagpatuloy niya yung ating pag-conduct ng National Nutrition Survey hanggang sa siya ay mag-retire. Si Dr. Jaime ay isa sa mga ay medyo 3 taon lang sa FNRI kaya napaka-konti pero maraming significant na proyekto siyang pioneering project katulad ng liver cancer na pagtingin na nanggagaling sa consumption ng peanut or other aflatoxin contaminated food. So, yun ay malaking bagay na na-contribute sa science and technology, particularly on contamination ng mga pagkain. Si Dr. Jaime ay isa sa mga ay medyo 3 taon lang sa FNRI, kaya napaka-konti. Pero maraming significant na proyekto siyang pioneering project katulad ng liver cancer na pagtingin na nanggagaling sa consumption ng peanut or other aflatoxin contaminated food. So, yun ay malaking bagay na na-contribute sa science and technology, particularly on contamination ng mga pagkain.
We started as a diamond in the rough, but through continuous brooding process of seeking science-based solutions and overcoming challenges, it has allowed all our facets to emerge, letting us shine brighter and brightest like a diamond for 75 years. It has been an unforgettable journey. We are grateful to our partners, stakeholders, colleagues, families, and everyone else we met and will meet in our journey. With commitment and sincerity, we will continue to reflect, and disperse our light of inspiration and support to the Filipino people. We will always be at the forefront of food and nutrition, and the world will continue to see us shine now and into the future. Like a diamond, pressure and heat in the bowels of the earth for eons, painstakingly mined and meticulously cut, polished, and set by seasoned gemologists to finally show its carats, clarity, cut, and color. So has the DOST-FNRI. Because like a humble candle, it has to endure the pain of burning in order to shed light. Shine with us!